Welcome to Let's Be Real 100%, where we are 100% real about life. We know that life happens and we are here to talk about it. And when I say we, I'm talking about it's all God and little old me. Join us as we jump into our topic today. All right, welcome back to another episode of Let's Be Real 100%. We are here with Miss Jill, and we want to welcome her to our new conversation. This podcast is usually based off of people sharing their stories, allowing others to let them know that they're not alone during their journey. So we want to welcome you. Thank you for joining us in this conversation. I usually start my podcast off usually as with a icebreaker. So my icebreaker to you is, what book are you reading right now? What is it doing for you?
I do Audible. So I won't sit and read, but I'm doing, right now I'm doing Fast Like a Girl. Have you heard of
Okay.
that? Fast Like a Girl is the one that I'm listening to right now.
Okay. And what is that book about?
It's about fasting. So there's lots of different benefits to fasting, and intermittent fasting has kind of been a big conversation the last couple of years.
Okay.
So what I'm learning is not only does it help when you are in menopause, you
Mm,
can balance your hormones, you can use it for anti-aging. It also has been proven to have many, many positive effects for people with cancer. Like if you do a 5-day cleanse, like
mhm.
you're literally not eating anything for 5 days, your cells regenerate. So
Okay.
anyway, those are just the things that I've heard so far.
Okay, that's awesome because it's crazy because I'm actually reading a book about fasting as well.
Okay.
it's
Okay.
it's more on a spiritual journey kind of thing.
Yep.
So I have been as crazy. That's nice to know that I'm not the only one just trying to learn about fasting or whatever, health wise, spiritual wise, mentally wise, all
Yep.
around the board. Because it's definitely helpful. It definitely helps on a whole nother level. So that's definitely good to know. Well, so you can start by just telling us about yourself, and then we go from there.
Yeah. Do you want to get into it, or you want to
Absolutely.
go the soft side, or you want to go the dark side?
However you want to do it. This is, however
Okay.
you want to
Well,
start with, that's how we'll go.
so I really like to set the stage before I start talking about my story, because my story is one that people are not talking about.
Okay.
And God, I don't know if you believe in God, source, universe. Obviously, if you're fasting for faith reasons, you are
For all day.
don't have any problem. But if some of your listeners don't believe, like, please don't turn off because I'm talking about God. It's just what I say. And
Absolutely.
when God first came to me to step out and talk about this, um, I just it's something that it's time that we normalize and we start talking about. So if this is your story, if what I'm going to share today is your story, or if you're remembering something, or if it's triggering you in any way, I need to know that you are safe and protected. And you can go to my website, jilleschultz.com, see my name right, and I have a resources page, and there's a get help section for people, and those are all anonymous sources for you to feel supported if anything that I'm saying is triggering for you. So
Absolutely.
thank you for letting me do that. So I was molested when I was around 3 or 4 years old, and I don't remember who did it, and none of that really matters. But how my story differs is that I was the little girl who started acting out with other children innocently and curiously because of what somebody taught me to do as a little girl. And I lived with debilitating shame for 41 years, thinking that I was the only little girl who ever did anything like that. And sadly, it's way more common than you can imagine. And so I just want to, I wrote a book. The book came out November 1st, and I'm just trying to just let people know you're not alone if this is you, and you get to forgive yourself, you get to love yourself, and life on the other side of healing
Yes. Yes.
magical. So that's what I wanted to share with you and your community today.
Okay, absolutely. So tell us about, you being molested as a young girl. Like, what was that? What was your mindset in that, in that time, and how you grew up? Like, how did you take it and, deal with it?
Yeah. I don't, honestly, to this day, I don't remember specifics. I don't remember who did it. I don't remember specifics. The reason that I know that it happened was because I knew how to have sex as a very little girl.
Right.
And children do not know how to have sex. They
Right.
just don't. They'll play doctor and things like that, but I knew how to do it. And so it never really occurred to me what was happening and that it was wrong and all those things until I turned about 12 years old. No, it was not about, I turned 12 years old, and an adult caught me in the closet with another child, and that adult said to me, "Little kids go to hell who do that."
Right.
And I don't blame that person at all. Like, there was no manual, there was no training guide for what lay on the other side of those closet doors. And and people aren't talking about it now.
Right.
41 years later, nobody was talking about it then. So that was the first point in my life where I felt shame and toxic shame. And that's really kind of what shaped my life and how I progressed through my years with not connecting with men,
Mhm.
imposter syndrome in my business, not being able to scale my, things like that, all the areas that eating disorder, all of those things, I think really stem from that pivotal moment when all of a sudden I was like, oh, I'm bad. I did something bad.
Wow. So for you to get into that mindset, like in, like from that time, from being 12 to like high school, like, did you like continuously in it, or did you quickly understand that it was wrong and you stopped doing it, or did it just really
Oh
affect?
no, that was, yeah, no, I stopped doing it. Stopped at 12. And you know what? It's really funny too, because I've all the research that I've done and writing the book and all the people that have contributed to the book, that's around the age that kids stop experimenting
Mhm.
when they do things like I did, when they acted out like I did. So I don't know what it is about that age. Maybe I don't even know. Is that when you go into seventh grade or sixth grade? I don't remember.
Yeah, probably about sixth grade. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if it just that point, and I really have no answer for you there as to why. But when I was told that, and I knew that this is bad, yeah, it immediately
It was
stopped.
it
Yeah,
was over. That's awesome. That's awesome. So what's the name of your book?
it's called Liberated: Releasing the Dark Cloud of Shame,
Love it. Love
and
it.
this just came out on the first. Yeah, I'm really proud of the book, so I'm excited that I think the great thing about the book is it's not just me. Once I started to share my story, other people said, that's me too. And
Right.
so instead of one person saying, this is what I did, there are other people that have written. So it just gives validity to the fact that people are not alone, that, it's not just, if this is your story, it's not just you and I that acted out. There are other people that are saying, that's their story too.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely us. It's not like exactly, story of mine, but I do know the story of acting out after something happening to you, and allowing it to affect your life, in a certain way. Some people like me, of course. When things happened to me, I suppressed it a lot. Like, I really didn't just talk about it. Like you said, back in the day, like, there was no way of opening up to other people about it, because people either swept it under the rug or just pretty much, ignored it, so now, as we have gotten older, there's more avenues, there's more, talking and being able to be open about certain things, nowadays, because it was,
Yeah.
it's hard. You're your little girl, like, first of all, who's gonna believe you? You're a little girl, secondly, if you really don't really just, you don't know what's happening, you can't really explain it, so they're gonna just be like, brush it away and be like, oh, it's okay, you'll be fine, or continue doing what you're doing. So I definitely get that and understand that. So I'm definitely glad that you're able to open up about it now, and express it, because a lot of people don't know how. Like, they never had the opportunity to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm so grateful for the Me Too movement, because I think those women who stepped out first are so brave, and it really opened up a space for people to be able to talk about it. And if you don't mind, I want to talk a little bit more into talking about it and saying it out loud, because if this is you, if this is your story, or maybe you're remembering something for the first time, or, for me, sexual trauma goes in waves. Like, you remember it and then you forget it, then you remember it, you forget it. So, but I remember when I turned 33, in between the ages of 12 and 33, I wasn't really processing any of it. I
Mhm.
just knew that by the time I was 33, I wasn't connecting with men.
Right.
And a man would walk in the room and I'd immediately put my head down because I didn't want him to see me. I'm like, how could a man love me if he knew what I had done?
Right.
Now, because of all the healing I've done, like, how could a man not love me because I'm
Right.
amazing? But I remember going into, because I wasn't connecting with men, I knew that I needed to go talk to somebody.
Yes.
And even thinking about that, like, I had the biggest pit in my stomach. And I'm like, how can I tell somebody what I've done? They're going to think I'm a monster. They're going to think I'm a pedophile. Because that's what I thought of my 12-year-old self. I thought I was a monster and a pedophile. Can you imagine thinking that of a 12-year-old little
Well,
girl? Yeah. And so it, to this day, like, even as I continue to share my story, and the reaction that I get from people is not, I promise you, it's not what you've made up inside your head about how somebody's going to react if you talk about it. I was blown away by the level of love and understanding and
yeah.
compassion and kindness that came from that other person that I was able to share my story with. So if this is you, please
Mhm.
know that you get to talk about it. You get to look at, what, and it could be you have a secret. Not everybody has sexual trauma, but
Right.
everybody has a secret.
Right.
You get to look at it in the eyes and say, you don't own me anymore. And you
Yes.
heal from it, because shame cannot live in the light.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Because once it's exposed and once it's said, there's no more hiding it. There's no more feeling guilty about it. There's no more any of that. And like you said, as a 12-year-old, like who does think like that? Like as a 12, because that's around the time where you're starting to be molded and in a certain mindset of learning different things and how to control different emotions and feelings. Because that's when the body starts to do other stuff. And to be to live like that between the age of 12 and 33.
Well,
That's
more like 51, but
well, yeah. But that's a long time, because it's like, and then when you finally be able to open up about it and be free, like that, liberation is the perfect word for it, because freedom does come whenever you open up. And then when, like you said, when you start to realize that you wasn't by yourself. Other people have gone through it, but just not put words to what they went through. um,
yeah,
it definitely helps a lot. That's the reason why we as a people build the community that we're trying to build, because there's we can experience so much freedom if that access or that communication or community was there to help others and build them. And not even just us old people, it's the young people that we're trying to also reach as well. So
yeah.
I love it. I
So
love it. I love it. So
thank you.
what was the process of you, like, when you first wrote the book? Like, how was that journey for you? Like, was it, the memories and stuff started flowing? It was like,
Oh no, I had worked through all the memories. I went to two different therapists. I did a lot of transformational work. I don't know if you know of Landmark Education. I did Landmark Education. I did
mm,
recently. I did this program called Heartcore Leadership and Heartcore PhD. And
okay.
for those of you who don't really know much about that type of work, it's really about when you point your finger at somebody else to blame,
Mm,
three, pointing back at yourself. And
right.
so it really is about taking responsibility. And I'm not saying taking responsibility for what somebody did to you, but taking responsibility for right now. And
Right.
so I had done a lot of work around my shame and my, when I say self-loathing, that is the word, self-loathing. And um, so finally at 51 years old, which was just 4 years ago, I finally was able to say that I love myself. And I had been looking for my purpose and praying for my purpose for a very long time. And
Right.
through this transformational work, God's like, this is what you get to do. And I was like, oh, hell no.
Right. I hear you.
You must be talking to somebody else, because And so once I surrendered to the whole idea of what I get to do now,
Right.
the only thing I wanted to do was shout it from the rooftops. I wanted to get on stages and all the things. And I talked to a friend of mine. He's like, if you want to get on stages, you got to write a book. I'm like, I don't want to write a book.
I know.
And so I said, okay, God, if you want a book, you get to figure it out. You figure out how it's going to come together. And, honestly, there was some legal stuff around my story that I had to work out. And so when the book first came about, I was trying to be a very high level about the conversation. And I was still sharing my story within my community. And these people were coming out and saying, me too, me too, me too.
Wow.
The book started with all these other authors contributing until I was able to clear up the legal things around my story. And so that's kind of how the book came about. It just my word for the year has been surrender. And every time an obstacle, I love that you just had that expression, because right?
Yes.
The way that you just did that was like kind of like almost,
I agree. I totally agree.
lean into it. And it's for me, it's almost addictive now. Like when something hard happens, I'm like, you figure it out. This is your mission, man.
Yes.
To be the vehicle, but this is your mission. And so you figure it out. Every day I'm going to wake up and I'm going to say, okay, what do I get to do today to move one step closer to whatever this gets to be? And I listen to what God says, and then he figures out all the hard stuff. It's been beautiful. It's beautiful.
I love it because it's crazy that you stay out. That's why I leaned back and was like,
I know it's hot.
I be trying to fix my face sometimes, but I'd be like, when it's in your house, like you be like, wow, like
no, you had a full body experience with that word.
I did, because like I literally been praying all week, because I've been trying to build the brand of Let's Be Real or whatever, and it's a book as well, because of the it's a story of me, of course, my testimony and how I came to Christ and the journey of it all. And this week, truly and honestly and transparent, I was like, Lord, I don't know what you want to do with this, but you got to drive, because I have the slightest idea how to work this out, who to reach to, how this is going to work out. And I probably, like, when you said that, I was like,
there you go.
Oh, like what else to say? I'm so glad like I'm not the only one praying that, because it's like, because if I do it within me, it's not going to get done, or I'm gonna drag my feet. It's just not going to be done right. It's not going to reach the masses the community that I wanted to reach.
Yeah.
And like this, like for real. And I asked God, I said, Lord, I'm expecting and anticipating what you're doing in this whole journey, because you got this, homeboy. Like you,
but not me. Do you meditate?
I pray and I meditate. Yes.
Okay, because that's what I do. I have my morning ritual, and I am really into manifesting. Like I'm manifesting like crazy right now.
Yeah.
And so I have my morning meditation and my manifesting and my prayer time, and I say, okay, God, what do I get to do today to move this forward? And then I just get really quiet and listen. And today he told me that I get to be reaching out to I have about 4 leads for speaking on stages that I need to connect with. Absolutely. And so today's like, that's what you get to do today. So
I love it. I love it because when you step on that stage, it's like, all right, Lord.
Yeah.
And I've learned that, matter of fact, within the last 2 weeks, if in the scripture has come to life where it says, if you open your mouth, God will fill it. Like when I say it happened to me for the very first time, it was like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, was that me? Like, yes, because I was like, where did that
Isn't it cool? It's so cool.
It's absolutely amazing. And what was said, it was like it reached somebody else, and I was like, I had no idea. Like, I'm just be talking because I'm just me, but I had to take over.
The Holy Spirit came down.
Like for real, that's real, because I loved it though, and I was like, Lord, what else you got for me? What you got?
Right, exactly. Like, don't stop there.
Yes, like this is not a stop sign, this is a yield sign. Let's go, let's keep going. Like, but I absolutely love it when you said, submission, because submission is kind of one of the hardest things to do. Sometimes only because we're so set in our ways, we're so set in our will, that we feel like we can control a lot of the things. Yeah. But to surrender it to God, and to also to others who can benefit from it and to help us through it, it's like, first of all, you get the spirit of fear, right? Because you're ashamed at first. Once you get once you start your transitioning, once you start your healing, once you start all of that, then once all that passes, now it's like, okay, now it's time to surrender. Now it's time to really just let go and be obedient. So I
Yeah.
love it. I absolutely love it.
And God did that to me very strategically too. Cause
Mhm.
like I said, I've been praying for my purpose for so long. And now I look back and he's like, okay, you get to heal here first. You get to
Yes.
heal here first. You get
Yes.
to do this first. You get to a place where you're ready to surrender, you know? So it was very, very planned on God's part, how it all happened. So if you're out there and you're like, what is my purpose in life? You know, you're going to hate this, but be patient and be careful what you pray for. Because,
Listen.
yeah, because I saw Oprah years ago and she
Mhm.
said, I want to be part of something that's bigger than myself. And
Right.
I wrote that thing down on a post it. Be careful.
Girl.
And honestly, so I told you I'm really into manifesting. I
Yes.
think God tricks us sometimes
Right.
into things like that because he tricked me into writing down, I want to be part of something bigger than myself so that when it came here, it was like, well, I
Right.
manifested that.
Right. You came into agreement with it when you wrote it down to writing that. Like you signed a contract, like you literally just signed over.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
Over. Exactly.
Never would I have asked for
Yes.
this to be my purpose and my mission
Yes.
in life.
Because I told God, I told, I don't mind playing the background. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll be back here, doing this, whatever, and let somebody else,
Yeah.
because like I wasn't qualified. You know what I'm saying? Like it's it's just one of those things where, like you said, you have to go through the transition, get out the mindset, just let go of all of that and be submissive. Because for years, like you say, you've been asking God for your purpose, and I've been asking God for years what my calling was, because I was like, I've been spending 35 years wasting my own lifetime. Like now it's time for me just to really just walk in and be just, again, surrender and let go. And when I say it's like a Kairos moment, it's like one of those let's go kind of things. It's like, okay, Lord, wait a minute. Wait. Wait a minute.
Hold on a minute.
Seatbelt time,
I
seatbelt. Like,
didn't mean to say
bubbles.
that. I didn't mean to pray for that.
Yeah, like, and then it's like, okay, I did. Like you said, like you wrote it down, you asked about it, and now that you
Yeah.
giving it over to him, it's like, okay, let me take
Yeah.
a breath first. Like, give me a minute. So, but it's so joyful. It's like it's peaceful when he's driving because you have no worries. Like he's literally taking control of everything. All he needs you to do is
Show up
just show up,
and be in
show up
action.
and
Show
be.
up and be in action. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I love it. I definitely love it. So, like, what are your next steps? Like, I know you say you had some things that you can be on stage and everything. So, like after that, like, what are you continuously doing?
That is a great question. So when I first, surrendered to all of this, I heard a podcast by a woman named Amanda Francis. Do you know who she
Or
is?
I don't, but I
Okay.
will go.
She's a manifesting queen. She wrote a book called Rich as F. I'm not
Oh,
going to say the word, but
right.
that's the book. And I heard her say that everything on our heart was given to us by God.
Yes.
Every desire on your heart was given to you. And so, and you get to have those things. And every day it's your only job to, manifest that into your life. Like feel what it feels like to have that, really own that that's what you get to have. And I was getting ready to go to a birthday party in LA for my girlfriend. And I got in the car and I was driving. And all of a sudden I saw Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone, Lewis Howes. Like I saw these huge names and I was like, and I saw myself on stage with them. And I was like, that's silly. And I said, wait a minute.
Yes.
Everything on my heart was given to me by God. And so I know I get to collaborate with those people. Like I already know deep in my soul that that's already happening for me. Oprah, Reese Witherspoon's book club, Joyce Meyer. Like I already know I get to collaborate and work with those people. So that's really like I'm laser focused on that. And I just keep asking God every day what I get to do to take me to that next level. And right now I'm trying to figure out what I get to create on the back end so that I'm able to support people because I'm not a therapist.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an expert by experience, but I'm not a therapist. Right. Yeah. So God gets to bring the people into my life that gets to help support all the people that are going to hear my story and go, wow, that's me. And I want to collapse time for people. I don't want people to wait 41 years. I want them to say, okay, let's get it done now. Let's work on this. Let's do what we have to do. And now there's so many other healing types of modalities that you can get to a place of self-love and forgiveness quicker than what I was able to do.
Come
So
on.
those are the things that I'm really working on right now, is just trying to be open to receiving those people coming in. The other thing is I'm creating a 501c3
Okay.
because I want to be able to support people who financially can't. And so I just had a call a couple days ago with a company that's going to put it together for me. But I need a board of directors. I need to have 3 people on that board. And I'm like, I don't even know who those people are going to be.
Right.
So I'm just like, all right, God, figure it out. You figure it out.
Yes, because you want people on your board that you can trust, first of all, and
Yeah.
that's
And mission aligned. Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. I love that. I love it. I love it. We ain't gonna be friends, like
Oh, no, we already are.
friends, like
Yeah.
stay in touch because that's crazy when you said, you don't want people to wait, have to, collapse the time for people to have, those years in between. Like as for me, like when somebody comes to me, like say for my story is about, being dying and being, diagnosed with HIV and everything. And for that community living in the LBGT, all of that stuff, like I want somebody like if that person comes to me, I want to be able to like listen,
This is
let's
what
get
you got to do.
to be.
Yeah.
Yes, these are the steps that you need to go through because these are God's steps that I had to take, and I
Yeah.
want you to be able to take these same God steps. There might be a little different here and there or whatever, because the stories are different and how people, dealt with the certain things. But I still want to be able to be used and say, all right, this is what we finna do. This is how we're going to get it, and let's walk this walk
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
And I've always said that my story, your story is not just meant for you. It was never meant for you. It was meant for that next person, that's older, younger, whatever, man, young child. I don't know, whatever, whoever it is. It was meant for them, and that's what God had to show me. Like I knew what you was gonna do before you even was thought about. You know what I'm saying? Before the world even began, I knew your story, and
Yeah.
knew how you was gonna get to me, and this is how I want you to use it for somebody else to get to me as well. Because that's the whole goal, is to get as many people back into, back to God as much as possible.
Yeah.
That's what it's gonna be. You
Yeah.
know.
And now you get to see your story as a gift, right? After
Yes.
all the BS, all the pain, all the heartache, all of that. God, I was in 41 years of self-loathing and deep, deep.
Wow.
And now I get to look at it and go, yay.
It's crazy because you don't look like, how people say you don't look like what you've been through, like at all. You don't look like what you've been through. And to say 40 years,
True.
yeah, like like I don't see that at all. And God, definitely, like you said, God gets the glory for that because
Yeah.
that's what people look at. Like people are like when they see you, they're gonna be like, girl, nah, you ain't been through that. Like you cannot say you've been through that. But to see where you are in your mindset, where you are, they can also see the vision of themselves as well. Like I can be that. Like I want what she has. I want to know what she had to do to get to where she's at now because I don't want to be here. Like being there is tiresome. Like it's tiring and it's depressing and it's just not where you want to be.
It's
So
so tiring.
yeah, how you telling? Like
I
like
know.
listen,
Thank you for saying that, because that's really all I want to be for people, is just an
right?
example. You can get there too. It's going to take work. I'm not gonna lie. It's going to
Absolutely.
take work, and you're gonna have to get uncomfortable. My favorite saying is life happens outside your comfort zone.
Listen,
Yeah. Because
listen.
you get to look at the hard things in your life and you get to face them head on and say, you don't owe me anymore. I get to break free from this. I get to look at it. I get to heal from it. And then
Yes,
I get to go off and live a amazing life.
yes. I love it. I love that. I definitely like because you have like you say, you have to be willing to go through the work because I can't do it for you. I can just tell you A, B, and C and get back to A. However we gonna do it. It's not a such thing as failing. It's a such thing as picking back up where you left off at or where you're gonna be at. and
Yeah.
keep on going. Like, because this is a day-to-day thing. We can't say that thought is not going to come. We're not going to say that emotion that you dealt with is not going to come. You just have to learn how to process it and think about it differently than what you have been doing for years. So, man, the work that you're about to do, like, I'm looking forward to it. Like, I am. Like, when I say Jill Schultz on the screen, I'm like, yes, that's my like, look, I don't even watch Oprah, but listen, when I see your name with Oprah, I'm like, I got you.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna send you an email. Let me say you're tuning in, right?
No, because I've been stuck in Texas forever now. Like, it's time for me to come out of my comfort zone
Mhm.
and go out and reach, connect with different people, because again, this is bigger than us. Like you said, like man, it's like I don't even know how many people in the world, but this is where it's at. And for all of us to come together and collaborate and work together and have the same vision and the same goal, like laser focus, like you said, you can only imagine how many people, can be helped and, be free from all this other stuff that's going on in the world. Because the world is not going to get any better, as we know, but the person herself or himself can be better, and help us reach the masses. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I love it. I absolutely love it, and that's why I have these like regular conversations. Because when you have like an interview style, it doesn't. I don't
Mhm.
feel like it really. I'm not gonna say it doesn't go anywhere, but you
No,
don't.
this
It's free.
let's be real 100%. Like this is
Yeah.
real. Yeah.
Like, I need you to be transparent with me because I'm transparent with you, and this is how we reach people. Because I even noticed that people don't really share their story as freely or as truthful as it should be, because
People are scared.
it
There's shame around it. Yeah.
it's a lot of shame around it. Because it took me 15 years to get out of my shame,
Yeah.
and I don't want nobody else to go through it, because I guess it's tiring, it's depressing, it's too much.
Yeah.
It takes too much energy to be that way. So, but
And
yeah,
your shame and my shame are different, so the shame will land on you in so
yes,
many different ways. So like I said earlier, it doesn't matter if your secrets around sexual trauma or not. You
yes.
just get whatever your secret is. And I love this. I have a worksheet on my website. If you're trying to
Mm-hmm.
figure out what your shame is, it's called Uncover Your Shame.
Mm-hmm.
And my website's just jilleschultz.com if you want to check it out. But there's one question on there that I love. And it's, what is one thing only you and God know?
Yes, I went on your website
You
when
did?
when it was sent to me. Like, when I say he sent me, it was like he sent me everything, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Hey, let me go through one by one." He's like,
Oh, you did, you angel. You
"Hey,
angel. Yeah, I love that question because it lands like it's like, whoa, okay.
yeah,
That's where I get to work on things in my life.
right," because it makes you sit back and be like,
Oh crap.
"Hold on, wait a minute."
Yeah.
Like, even
Uh,
you can't even play like you didn't read the question.
no, I couldn't have said that. No
Like,
way.
I that right, because it makes you go back and read it again. You're like, "Wait, what?"
Uh,
Like, yes, I love it. I love it. So all those that links that he sent me, if you want, I will definitely put it in the call notes so that people can, reach out to you if need be, to connect or however you want it to go. I will definitely put it in the call notes as well.
Thank you.
But I definitely, truly, when I say I thank God for the conversation, because it definitely helped me, and it gives me joy to know that there are others out there that are really trying to, make a difference. Not just because of finances, not just because to get their name out there, not to get, fame and fortune or whatever, but to truly have the heart of people, on a different level. So I'm definitely grateful for that, and we definitely will be staying in touch for sure,
Forever. I know.
ever and ever.
We'll be
Uh,
texting every day. What are your goals today? What are you doing? What do
Girl,
you want me to do
well,
today?
I might need that. I ain't gonna
And
lie.
I love that. I'm happy to support.
I,
Everybody should have a coach. I pay for coaching. I'm not saying that you need to pay me
right,
because I would do this for free, but
right.
everybody should pay for coaching if they're trying to up level their life in whatever way possible. So like when I was doing Landmark and the hardcore leadership programs, those are not free, but
Right.
those will set you free.
Yeah.
Like You got to do the work. And so find a community that you can support you. And I've paid for coaching for relationships. I've paid for coaching for, health and fitness. I've paid for business. I believe in paying for coaching to help you collapse time to get to the next level faster. So I don't know if you have a coaching program or not, but I just sold you gold.
I've been saying over.
Oh, that's your next step. God just told me that was your next step. That's
you did.
Yeah.
Did. Collapse my time. That's just being real. That's what we talk about. We collapse in time today.
Yeah.
So I love it. I definitely love it. So I will definitely let you know once I'm done, doing everything and uploading it. It will be the conversation will be audible on Spotify and all the other platforms. Also, it will be visual on the YouTube and all this stuff. So I will give you all the information. I will also give. The person that we were talking through. I can't remember.
Oh, Kevin.
I'll also give him the information as well, so that he'll know.
Can I say I'm feeling very drawn to say something before we end the call?
Absolutely.
So if for you listening, if whatever you're going through right now, the first thing that you have to do is you have to decide. You have to decide that you are not going to stay in victim anymore. So today gets to be your day that you say, I'm taking a stand and I am choosing me and I'm choosing to move forward. So I hope that you do that today. I hope that you give yourself that gift and make that decision.
Absolutely. That was going to be my last question for you anyway, but you beat me to the punch because I was like, is there any last words that you want to say to people to encourage them? But hey, I love it. I definitely love it. Take that first step. And
do something. Get on your knees and pray. Journal. I don't care what you do. Do one thing today to own where you're at in your life and say, I get to move forward from this.
Yes, and I have control over it. The emotion doesn't have control over me anymore. Because that's it. I'm gonna walk in freedom, and that's my first step. So I love that. I love it. But I definitely appreciate you coming on to chat with me.
Thank you. It's been a blessing.
Listen, I love you from 1,000 miles away.
Thank you, honey. Right back at you.
Definitely, we'll be definitely.
You've all seen a friendship form right now, people.
Absolutely, I love it. A connection that's forever. A godly connection that's forever.
Yeah.
I definitely love that. So I'll be traveling next year. So don't be surprised.
San Diego.
Don't be surprised if I hit you up and be like, listen, I'm in your state. Like, what's good?
I love it. I have plenty of room.
Absolutely. But I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Then again, I will stay in touch with you on how how I post everything. So
yep. Awesome.
Absolutely. Love you much. And we will talk soon. Talk to you later. Bye. Thank you for listening to Let's Be Real 100%, when we're 100% real about life. We hope that you enjoyed the topic today, and we hope that you trust God more and more each day. And we hope to see you next week.